It is generally accepted that you cannot pin down the exact location of various units on a battlefield at a given point in time. But I would like to suggest that here at Spotsylvania, we may have an exception to the rule, and that being in the position of Smith's Battery of the Richmond Howitzers on May the 10th. Now we know from accounts of the Howitzers themselves and Major Hardaway that those guns went into position to the left of the re-entrant line, and 4 guns. Major Hardaway himself, who fought the rightmost gun, placed it at 30 yards from the re-entrant line, which I have been showing, am showing in the picture that you see now. Pan across, you can see it as it goes through the woods. And if we step off approximately 30 yards from this position, we come to this position right here, centered in the picture. You can see how the ground is dug out, dug back. There's a mound to its left, mound to the right, perhaps a low traverse, and it points out, oriented in line of sight from the center of the position across the field at the wood line, where, by the Howitzers' account, they fought against Union skirmishers all day. So normal, the SOP would have been, the next gun should have been 14 yards to its left. And as we step down the line, again, you can see the mound. You can see we're coming up on a classic position which is associated with Spotsylvania and then later in the Overland Campaign, where it appears that the gun is on a raised mound, and it's dug out on either side to afford protection for the gunners. Again, field of fire, right out across the field. Pan back to the position to its right. And again, you can see where Major Hardaway talked about this gun blowing the cap off his head as it fired at the Federals in the works that they still held around the cedar tree at a range of 60 yards from Hardaway's first gun. So again, if we go to our left, look to our left rather, you'll see what appears to be another position at a little bit further distance this time. Well, look, actually this one closer, much closer. And again, somewhat of the classic Spotsylvania position. Raised position in the center, dug to the right, traverse to the left, and again, looking out across here at the wood line, see the wood slope away to our, or the ground slopes away to our left, as well as to our right. And looking down further, you can see what is the last position, and we'll go over to that. This one is further away, so I think on average they're probably right in that 14-yard range, but these last two aren't quite equal. Now, the Confederates did have skirmishers in the woods to the left of this field, but not out in front of these guns. So here, a little bit bigger position, dug deeper on that side. Here, pretty apparent that there's a way of egress to and where they could roll the gun in and out. And this one covers a portion of the field that the one to its right could not, which you would expect. And again, back up towards the tree. So, again, just pointing out that perhaps, and you can see the infantry trench running off to the distance and then bending back to the right. So, just want to suggest that here at Spotsylvania may be one exception, one of many perhaps, but maybe not, to the rule that you cannot determine exactly where units were. Now, what are the possibilities otherwise? The Confederates withdrew from this line the evening of the 12th, did not return. So, after Hardaway's people left, Garber's men of Cutshaw's battalion occupied it from the evening of the 10th through the 12th. And it was not fought in and over the rest of the battle. Did the CCC alter it? Certainly they cleaned the trenches out, but did they dig anything? Probably not. So I think a good case can be made that what we see, or what was built by Hardaway's men the morning of May 10th, 1864.